Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Basics with Babish. I'm doing a Basics this week instead of a binging because I am very, very sick, and we shoot Basics episodes in advance because we're smart like that. Anyway, this week we're taking a look at blender soups, starting with what I like to call elote soup. First, we gotta husk 4 ears of corn, and an easy way to get the silk off the corn is with a toothbrush, which will of course become your designated corn silking toothbrush. Never leave home without it. Then we're gonna slice all the kernels off the cobs, and finally dice half a small yellow onion. And then we are headed over to the stove top to par cook some of our ingredients. First, we're going to saute our onion in a couple tablespoons of butter until soft. Add most of our corn kernels, reserving some for sauteing in brown butter. Add about a cup of chicken stock, bring to a simmer. Season with little shakes each of paprika, cumin, and cayenne pepper. And then simmer 15 to 20 minutes or until the corn is nice and soft. In the meantime, in a smaller saucepan, we're going to brown up some butter. Once the milk solids in your 6 tablespoons of butter begin to separate and brown, add your reserved corn kernels and saute. Once all of our corn is sufficiently corned, it's time to head back over to our blender, where we are sending our corn and chicken stock mixture. Our brown butter corn is being placed to the side as it will be one of our many toppings. And then, as you might have guessed from the name of this episode, we're going to blend this corn, adding maybe a half a cup of cream, a tablespoon or 2 of sugar, especially if you're buying your corn in the off season and it's not very sweet, and seasoning to taste with white pepper and kosher salt. To taste is very important here. You might need more cream, you might need more salt, more sugar. Just keep adding little bits as necessary, blending, tasting, and repeating until it's perfect. Now for our toppings, we're going to fry up some bacon to crispy completion, thinly slice some jalapeno peppers, and get those into some prep bowls along with our bacon, brown butter corn, and some cotija cheese. To finish, let's start by pouring our velvety corn soup into our bowl and topping with each of our aforementioned accoutrements, each of which are going to bring their own flavors and textures to the party. And make no mistake, this is as close as soup gets to a party. But what about the opposite end of the soup spectrum, the pure comfort soup? The kind of soup that I dearly wish I had some of right now. A creamy tomato soup with grilled cheese. We're starting off by finely mincing a shallot and 1 clove of garlic, which we're going to saute in about 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Start with the shallot and saute until soft, about 3 minutes. Add the garlic and saute until fragrant, about 60 seconds. Add 1 tablespoon of tomato paste and saute for maybe another 30 seconds until it's well incorporated. Then we're going to add a little shake of oregano and a can of San Marzano tomatoes. We're just going to break up those tomatoes a little bit with a wooden spoon and bring the whole affair to a simmer, adding a solid cup of water to make sure the tomatoes don't dry out, and a solid teaspoon of molasses to add a little sweetness. We're then going to let this guy simmer for at least 30 minutes. I would even go an hour to let those flavors really get to know each other. Once they are all well acquainted, we're going to introduce them to our high-powered blender and employ a brilliant trick courtesy of J. Kenji Lopez Alt over at the Food Lab, which is to add 1 slice of torn, crustless white bread to the soup before blending, which will in turn make it creamy. Adding olive oil to the blender while it's running will also create an emulsion and help make the soup rich and creamy. This is a great way to make a cream-like soup if you want to stay vegan or avoid dairy. I'm also going to add a little bit of sugar and of course some kosher salt, blending and reseasoning as necessary until my desired texture and consistency and flavors are achieved. And now on to the most important part of tomato soup, the grilled cheese. I've got a pretty standard grilled cheese situation going on here. I'm using mayonnaise on the bread instead of butter to get a really deep brown crust, foaming butter in the pan, yellow American cheese betwixt the bread. But I've got a fun idea for how to deploy this grilled cheese in our soup situation. First, I'm just going to eat the crust while the cameras are not running. Wait, no, don't record this. And then I'm going to cut the crustless grilled cheese into grilled cheese croutons. And I know I just made efforts to make the soup dairy-free, but if you're not trying to stay dairy-free, a nice swirl of heavy cream or creme fraiche is lovely on top of the soup along with our grilled cheese croutons. And there you have it, the ultimate creamy tomato soup and grilled cheese. I really hope you guys try this one for yourselves. Very sorry for the slow upload week, but I'm on the mend and we'll be back to a regular schedule shortly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going back to bed.